I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong.
This event means a whole lot to me.
We all hope for me to do well, but there are no guarantees.
I try to be as sharp for the tournament as possible, try to be in good shape, and I think that's the best you can do.
Time on the main stage in Wijk and say, how was the experience?
I feel very great, and I'm expecting a very tough tournament against strong players like Magnus Carlsen, and it's my favorite player, I think. So it would be great to play against him and
You didn't play him before?
No, only online, I think. Bullet games.
Okay, but they are less intense in a way.
Sorry?
Intense, like... I mean, to lose a bullet game is not that bad, but a classical game might be terrible. I mean, it gives a much more negative feeling.
It's not terrible to lose him, I think, because he's a great...
but to lose a bullet game, that doesn't spoil your day. Yes. A classical game, it spoils the day, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so and all these measures against COVID in the tournament hall, did they bother you?
I don't think so, because we are all at the same conditions, so I think it's not a big problem.
Okay, very good. And today's game, can you say something about it?
Yes.
Were you better at some point?
Maybe right after the opening, I had a bit better position, but I think I made a mistake by playing knight e5, because I missed the line when he took my knight, and after knight e4, I think, yeah, and after that I think it's just equal.
Okay, thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You must feel some sense of relief.
Yeah, I was a typical first round game, to be fair. Like, you know, thinking too much and miscalculating. I mean, yeah, I understood that what I did was probably not correct, but I thought I would have some decent chances. And then at some point I'd almost given up because I thought it was not working. And then suddenly, I don't know if a4 was a huge mistake, but at any event, it's unbelievably impractical. And I think that was the problem there. That you know. If there's something forced there for him, then it's impossible to calculate with so little time, and yeah. Instead, he blundered, which was very fortunate for me, of course. But yeah, overall, I think, you know, neither of us are especially happy, but it's a start, and at least there's in this tournament no like first few rounds with boring draws like last year, and 7 first games were drawn. I'd happily take this instead.
Yes, of course, but was there a specific moment that you decided to gamble?
I would say already when I played d5 and sacked the pawn instead of, for instance, repeating moves, that was already a gamble. I felt like I would have decent compensation, but it was sort of a trend, you know, that I knew with in my heart that once I'd taken that decision, I wasn't going to back down later on and look for equality. So I knew at that point that at least mentally I'd already burned some bridges.
Okay. Last question. You arrived late yesterday. Did you feel fit during the game?
I I definitely felt okay, and I think the shaky play has more to do with the fact that it's the first round and there's been very little classical at all recently.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Pentola, close but no cigar. That's what they say in the US. You were better for most of the game, weren't you?
I think I was. He went for something inferior, I would say, or bad. I don't know. But knight bd7 was a bit strange to me, and then I had this nice grip. Of course, I missed the queen c5 move, which gave him to kind of liquidate a lot of stuff. I thought I had a very nice position, but something was missing when he could just come out with queen c5 and stuff. Even with the rook, the opposite color bishop endgame is not that easy, but okay, the position, the advantage which I had before was much better. I don't know exactly where I missed, if I missed any clear win, but I could have posed more problems. I was a little bit short on time, not big pressure when you are playing rapid and blitz, but at the end I think this was just a draw. I mean, I was not really pushing because I guess he saw the theoretical draw, and once you see it, you should go for it. So that's it about.
So in general, one could say he defended very well.
I think so. From queen c5 onwards, I think he defended very well.
You received the invitation on short notice. Do you consider that a disadvantage?
No, not really, because I was expecting some invitation, maybe not Tata Steel, but I was working on my chess as some tournament will happen. I mean, at some point it has to happen. So no, I was not really. It wasn't like short notice, but I think it was like 3 weeks or something like that.
And playing so little classical games in a year, does that make you rusty, or it doesn't make any difference? What do you think?
Well, I guess I can say that today's my play and opening was pretty okay. So from that point of view, it's hard to say after a single game, but we will see. I mean, already there were a couple of interesting games today. We have to, see a couple of games to decide whether I'm rusty or not.
We'll come back to that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Niels, a very good day for Sweden and Scandinavia, I guess. Can you tell me something about the game?
Yeah, well, he surprised me a lot in the early middle game when he played d5, breaking open the center. After that, it was very, very complicated. But originally, I had thought that I would have something very good. But then I started to calculate more deeply after he played it, and in all the lines, there was one more move that I had missed in the end, and everywhere it seemed that he's barely surviving. And the thing is, if he survives, then he might just be completely fine. So I was burning all my time, and suddenly, with 10 minutes left, I decided just to play a relatively equal position, which was not the intention. But then he got a bit. He was not that precise in the ending, and suddenly I got the pawn up in a rook ending. Still must be a draw. But at least it's possible to go wrong for black, and I can put some pressure. And then he made another blunder with the move rook d2, missing this idea of rook e1 check. So after that, probably it's winning.
Yeah, because the pawn ending in the end was dead lost. Yeah.
Pawn ending was dead lost. Yeah, this was my hope. But on the other hand, if he doesn't go for it, then I should be quite ahead in the race as well. So.
Okay, so what are your expectations for the tournament now?
I mean, nothing has changed. Yeah, I'm taking one game at a time, and I will try to play some good chess. Today was not that great, but definitely also not a disaster. So I'm reasonably content.
Yeah, but the point is very sweet.
The point is very, very sweet, but it's so early, so I'm mainly looking like what is the quality, and well, can always be better, but not as bad as I feared.
Okay, thank you and good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Toslav, were you close to winning today?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say close, but I definitely had some chances, especially that he got low on time. I'm not sure if I missed something clear, like a clear wing. Obviously, I was better, but I never thought that it's like enough, and probably I should get something better than endgame 4 versus 3. But after we got there, obviously it's a draw, but still I should probably press a little bit more and better.
You should. Like, you disappointed yourself?
No, well, I mean, yes and no, but I thought that I played a normal game, but on the other hand, like, win is not really a given, no? I mean, before the game, so it also depends on the other player. So let's say that I had good moments and some moments where I should probably play something more accurate.
Yeah. The circumstances in the tournament hall concerning COVID, did they bother you?
Not really. I see that everything is like, according to the rules, and you did a great job to making sure that we feel safe. I mean, as safe as we can get nowadays. So I don't really feel like bothered.
And are you a little afraid of catching COVID in a tournament like this?
I wouldn't say that.
Or do you feel pretty safe?
No. Let's say that I feel pretty safe. Especially, I wouldn't say that it's worse than going to the shop or something like this. So, no. I mean, if I would feel unsafe, then probably I should simply stay at home and not even order food and so on. So, also this will of playing again, I would say that this is higher than me being, let's say, afraid that I might catch something.
And when was your last classical game before this one today?
I think that was a German league which I played in October. So it's been a
pretty recent. Yeah.
I mean, yes. I mean, probably if you compare to some other players, yeah, that's recent, I would say.
Okay, thank you and good luck. The sacrifice on G4 looked dangerous, but in reality, it might have been a pleasant surprise for you.
No, it wasn't a surprise. Actually, it was been played by Magnus already against Hikaru in some rapid game. But before that, we found it also with my team long ago. We found this idea, and we had analyzed it on various occasions. We analyzed it very deeply. Very, very deeply, actually. So I was very familiar with the position, but just today I didn't expect the Berlin. I think Ariane never plays the Berlin, or at least I don't recall. I didn't prepare at least for Berlin. And and somehow I thought he was not going to do this, so I kind of bluffed him a little bit with castle, and then after he went bishop g4, I realized that, okay, now I either have to let him get a comfortable position or dig into my memory and try to remember. But fortunately, I managed to recall a lot of things. And actually, I think he deviated quite early from the line that I had with black. And I think it was very important that I got my setup with king g2, rook h3. Then I block everything and I have free play on the queen side.
Yeah, and you were in control all the time from that moment on.
Yeah, it's very important which pieces blockade the g3 and h4 pawns. It's very, very important, and I think I got the ideal version, that the king is on g2, is there, and the rook is on h3. So it's even better than the queen on h3, I think, because it's better to have rook stuck than the queen, and my queen is free, and he never has any real counterplay. So the only question is if he has a fortress. But I think in the game, Okay, he didn't wait the best way. He should have waited better with the bishop on f6 maybe. I think I have just very, very good winning chances there.
Yeah, and it might be a fortress maybe, but it's very hard for him to defend it all the time.
Yeah, I doubt it's a fortress. I looked at these positions with the worse versions for for white than this, and even then computer was breaking through. So I think there is a breakthrough. But I was very happy to finally break through without a breakthrough. So I didn't even push c3, d4 or anything. Just I just kept shuffling the bishop around until his position collapsed.
Okay, thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
There are worse way to start a tournament than a draw with black against Fabiano. But there were some problems along the way, weren't there?
Yeah, it was a very tough game. It was very complicated as well, so it was a lot to calculate, and it was, I'm sure, many mistakes by both of us. But at some point I thought it should be an easy draw, and then I played some really stupid moves.
Like what?
Well, just a rook end game I thought should be an easy draw, but it was not like, there was no way to force it, let's say. So I have to keep on playing good moves. And
at some moment you had some initiative at the king side, yeah?
Yeah, there were many choices for me, and it was not easy to pick one of them, and also time was running out a bit. So I just went for something, but this turned out to be way more difficult than I thought initially, and then I blundered with rook b2, I think. Maybe it's probably still a draw after that, but it's very nasty, and his pawns on the king side are very strong, and his king is nicely guarded. So yeah, it was really, really tense game, and I escaped by the skin of my teeth.
Okay, but after like h5, you knew it was going to be a draw.
No, definitely not.
Huh?
I played rook g2 check. I mean, I just didn't see what happens if he pushes f5 and gets f6 in, so I thought I have to start some counterplay of my own before he gets his pawns rolling. So I sacked this pawn, and then, well, maybe there's, if you're saying it's probably a draw, it probably is a draw by computer, but over the board it definitely didn't feel like that, and it felt very close still. But well, he didn't find a good way to push me, and then I managed to get a draw reasonably smoothly there in the end, at least.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So, the engine thought you were worse for much of the game, but I missed what happened in the end. How did you manage to make a draw?
Yeah, of course, I'm very happy with the draw. I played he played the 4, which I think gives me some chances. I don't know if it was necessary, but yeah, Maxime played very well with the knight maneuver, and I couldn't do anything with the bishop on d5, so finally I gave it up on c4, and suddenly I got lucky, and every pattern was working for me, so yeah.
But you had like some fears for losing this game during the game, I guess, yeah?
Not really. I was playing my game, and I could have gone to the more solid way, like maybe instead of bishop e4, bishop d5, some knight e5 it was, or I don't remember when, but I thought it is good to get bishop on d5 and get that tag, and I knew that it was double edge. It could have gone wrong so easy, and it went wrong, but I was lucky.
It looked like tough pairings for you in the beginning, yeah?
Yeah, probably two best players in the tournament. I was black.
Yeah. But from now on, things can only get better for you.
Yeah, it has to.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
In the beginning, everything seemed sort of harmless, but at some point you got chances, right?
Yeah, it was a funny moment. I mean, I played the opening very solid way, and then actually there was an interesting moment when we were repeating moves for a second there. Actually, I could also deviate, but he decided to deviate instead, and it was quite strange because he deviated from repetition, and then 2 moves later he's in a slightly worse endgame. But that said, I think the margin for a draw is very big. At some point I got hopes, but then I started to think, and like the longer I thought, the longer I realized that, yeah, I mean, the margin for draw is too big because we have equal pawns. He's got in long term this counterplay on the queen side, and I mean, it felt nice for me, but then I realized just I'm on the good side of a draw. I don't think I have any chances.
So you let him suffer only a little bit?
Yeah, I just didn't really, I didn't really see, to be honest, push. Like at some point I thought that, because it feels good, it is good, it's better, but it's just not. All the rook end games are going to be drawn. All the end games are. Just because just equal material, two little pieces. I think it's just symbolic. Actually, it was nothing probably.
Okay, I believe you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Crazy things happen in sport. 1 month ago, the Tata tournament was not on your agenda, and here you are, leader after the first weekend. How crazy is that?
Yeah, it's very nice, of course. Yeah, I could never have expected it.
And the game of today, it seemed simple enough. This is how actually amateurs also win games. Trade off the bishop on g2, play the pawn to f3, and a kingside attack. But how can you secure such a win against a top-class grandmaster?
I think he really wanted to beat me, so he played something quite rare or quite strange. And I was lucky because I'm quite familiar, not with his specific position, but with the same structure. I have played a lot of games, so I know the plans very well. And he did not really find the best maneuvers, I think. For instance, this knight e1 to c2 followed by queen d2, this is very slow. I think he simply does not have the time. And once I push f5, f4, I think already I'm doing very well. Then he surprised me greatly by playing e4 to allow the pawn to f3. But on the other hand, I could not see what else he could do. He's definitely worse there. Maybe not so much, but it's unpleasant. So, yeah, I don't know exactly how it went so easy, but I just made normal moves, and then I had a very promising position.
And then you won a piece. Was it still difficult for you after you winning the piece?
Yes, it was. It definitely should not be. But I was getting a little bit low on time, and I did not play in the most accurate way. And it got too complicated. It should have been just game over immediately, I think.
But now you have the point, and you can relax.
Yes, exactly. And I think today's game was a bit better than yesterday's also.
Okay, thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much.
André, a draw with black, is that okay with you?
At first I saw that before the game, I thought that it will be a good result, but during the game I understood that I had advantage in the end game. So I think I made a mistake by playing a4. So after that, I think it's just equal.
Yeah, because he sacrificed temporarily a pawn in the opening, but he had actually some difficulties to get it back, yeah?
Yes. It was a very complicated opening, Karakan, and I love this opening actually.
So, what we call a draw, but with a little plus for you, yeah?
Yes, I think so. Tomorrow I will play with white pieces against, I think, Vashiel Graf, and I think it would be interesting game.
Have you played him before? In classical?
No, never. I think so.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
There were a lot of difficult choices you had to make today.
Yeah, certainly it was. It was a game where, yeah, clearly I had some chances. Felt from the opening that I was doing well. Probably somewhat better, but it wasn't so easy. And yeah, after a while, I think he equalized completely, and there was nothing for me. And then suddenly I got real chances. He missed this little trick with King G5, this nice little skewer with the rook later on with Rook E7, Rook D7, and then yeah, after that he might have been lost. But at some point I'd missed a defensive idea that he had with King F5, and then thought I could go Rook E1, but he had a trick there with Rook G5 and King F4. So after that it wasn't so easy, and I don't know if I missed something after that.
And also no options for Rook and Bishop against Rook somewhere.
Maybe there were options for Rook and Bishop against Rook, but I wasn't interested in that for a while, and when I started looking for those options, they weren't there anymore. So that's why that didn't happen. Obviously, if I'd if I thought I couldn't win and I saw an opportunity to get into that, I would have tried and do that to make him suffer. But it wasn't to be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry?
What went wrong today?
I was pushing for a win. I had a good advantage. After
Yeah,
move
that was
40.
of course what went right. But
yeah. But then after move 40, I thought it should be a technical win, but I don't know. Somehow I think I pushed h6 too fast. It was very, very close. But black has some resources, but it should be winning.
and we're trying to win with a pawn or by mating or both.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. My king is maybe slightly misplaced on h3. I should maybe put it on g2 and then play g4.
And
somehow I messed it up.
Yeah, and on the other hand, he defended very well.
That's true.
Yeah. So, how do you feel now?
I feel not so good because I thought I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
After move 40, but okay, what to do? I have to just forget about it.
Yeah, and go on with the tournament.
Yes.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Of the Tata Steel Chess Tournament, I'm delighted to welcome these 14 world-class top grandmasters at the 83rd edition of our tournament. The teams have worked relentlessly behind the scenes to ensure that we could organize a COVID-safe tournament. And Chess Connects. Maybe some of you have seen the Netflix series The Queen's Gambit. We know that a lot of people have become a lot more enthusiastic about the game of chess. And that's exactly what we're trying to promote through a number of online activities that we will be organizing over the next 2 weeks. And this way, we hope that all the fans and amateurs of the game of chess find a way to engage positively and enthusiastically with our tournament. Thank you very much and enjoy the games.
Game today, the Queen Sacrifice. Is that known?
No, it wasn't known, but it was pretty natural to me. Actually, so natural that I even overlooked maybe other options.
You enjoyed to sacrifice the Queen?
Yeah, it's not the first time, of course, and I felt I had a very decent compensation. I did overlook one resource for Andre, though, that after rook d5, knight b4, rook d4, at first I thought I had bishop d3, but then rook d takes b4 would have won for him, so this is what I missed, but still I had actually sort of a material advantage, but then during the game, I mean, I thought I should be better, but I couldn't figure out a way to bring my pieces black into play, especially the bishop on a6. If it's on c6, the game is would have been very promising, but here on a6 was always this rook takes b7 options lurking around. I just I thought about what I could do to play for a win, and I somehow couldn't find, but I'm sure it's there. I'm honestly sure I was slightly better somewhere.
Okay, thank you. Arjen, a draw against the world champion. You must be pleased.
Yeah, of course, I'm very happy to. That's like the against the best opponent you can make a draw with black. So I mean, I'm very pleased.
Yeah. Was it a risky line you opted for today?
No, this line is known to be extremely solid, and I don't think Magnus expected it. I think it was a very good choice against him because basically black takes a slightly but very, very solid position, and when you have so much time on the clock, it's a very good opening, I think, when you're happy with a draw. And then I think I defended well. It got scary at some points, but I think king f6 was important, and then...
because still he tried to squeeze water from the stone.
Of course, yeah, I was prepared for...
Because still he tried to squeeze water from the stone.
Of course, yeah, I was prepared for that he will squeeze. I was expecting I would have to sit and struggle for 7 hours against Magnus, because, you know, he never gives up. If there is like a slight chance, he will go for it, and often the opponent collapses. So even when I knew it should be a draw, I was, let's say, not 100% sure. I mean, I knew I had to fight very, very well. No,
and even in the final phase of the game, you were thinking quite long, as if were not totally sure.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you have so much time on the clock, especially after move 40, I could probably play faster. But when you get 50 minutes more, imagine if I would make a mistake there and lose, I would never forgive myself. When you have so much time, why not just check 4 times and then, yeah.
Okay, enjoy.
Thank you.
Positional victory in the France. Is that how I can describe this game?
Well, after he did not take on b4, I mean, he played bishop f4, which I thought is inaccurate. I think White was doing quite well. He's playing without any risk. But then he went bishop f4 and he missed queen a5 and b5, bishop a3. So once I got this, it's pretty easy. I don't know how much it is winning, or I'm even having an advantage. But as a former French player, it seemed quite natural to place the bishop on a3 and then just push the pawns and so on. So if White does not have any counter on the king side, black is just much better here. So I think bishop f4 is a critical mistake.
And in the end, the exchange of bishops, did that help you?
Well, already I think here my position I thought was much better, mainly because I can place knight on c4, rook on a8, and with 2 knights, this knight on f3 is stuck with defending the pawn on d4. It's also it's really tough, if White can exchange this a2 pawn to b5, it's brilliant. But I don't know if he
do so.
Yeah, because knight on c4, knight on c6, and I have just quite pleasant position, and defending a2 pawn is just not possible because knight b4 or just rook a3, queen a7 as I did in the game. So here I was quite confident that I will win, but before I was not sure at all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The 0 point sign behind your name. But maybe you're still not pleased.
Honestly, the way the game developed, I might not be too pleased because I was probably better throughout. But honestly, after the last 2 games, I finally feel like I'm playing this tournament, because even though I was already doing all the same things that I'm used to and basically having the same routine, it still felt like I'm not really, I haven't arrived. I'm still kind of traveling and trying to realize that I'm playing here. So I'm very glad it's starting to work out.
So it actually was a disadvantage to arrive so late?
Probably it wouldn't have been so bad if I had known, let's say, for a week or 2 that I'm playing. But the problem was really that I didn't know it at all, and I could arrive 2 days before or 10 days before. The most important thing is that I need like a few days to realize what is happening and that I really need to give it my all.
Because this is a different kind of opposition than you're used to?
First of all, I have never played such a strong tournament, obviously, but there is also that I simply need time to realize that from here I'm sitting on the couch, I'm not doing anything for the next 2-3 months, to I'm suddenly playing 13 games against very, very strong players.
And from now you expect this feeling is gone and you will play the tournament you want to play? I
very much hope so. Today already I was making quite good moves. I got a good position, which I didn't manage in the first 2 rounds. And, well, I hope it'll get even better the next rounds.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Jan-Christophe, a draw, but what a great fight it was. Can I call it a Houdini-like escape?
Yeah, probably. I don't know the evaluation of the engine, but I guess I was in trouble indeed. So, yeah, one can say so.
Okay, in trouble, but in the opening, the engines claimed that you were actually better at first.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know because, okay, I expected my opponent to play d4 in the first move, to be honest. And, yeah, it was obvious when he went for e4 that he has something in store. But still, I decided to go for the Petrov, which is very risky, obviously, because it's the very line that Fabiano prepared against Magnus in their match. So, yeah, but anyway, I decided to see what happens. Okay, rook h1 is probably some novelty, or at least a move I don't know. And yeah, and after that, I mean, it's total mess. It's very difficult to navigate in such positions. And Yeah, I'm not sure because White usually gets like very strong attack, and and sometimes I'm just hoping to escape in some perpetual, and sometimes I can be better after some computer moves. I mean in defense, but it's very difficult to spot, I guess. And in the game it looked too slow for me. I mean, I wasn't sure actually whether to play bishop f6 or take knight c3. I just couldn't decide and decided to play bishop f6.
Okay, and then the both of you started sacrificing.
Yeah.
His attack was sort of quicker. You knew you were in trouble.
Yeah.
But at what moment did you start to get hope again?
Well, I was actually, hopeful all the time. In my case, indeed, it looked like Desperado, just trying to find some perpetual, while his attack looked almost to be decisive. I mean, I don't know. It looked very bad for me, but we didn't see a win for White, so maybe there wasn't any, but I would be very surprised actually to see that. And and after that, it was also some mess in the game, like this rook versus knight. I didn't like this endgame at all, but probably it was technically winning at some point, but we didn't cross 14 move yet, so we were basically playing blitz at that time. I mean in the beginning of this endgame, so and I guess he misplayed it, and after that it was probably whole debut for black, but still so pleasant. I wasn't very sure of this endgame. In the end, I was sure of the draw, but earlier, it was okay. I thought there might have been some suspect position when when my knight is not a good piece, but I obviously blundered this queen a3 idea, but maybe there wasn't even something better for me. I don't know. Very difficult. I mean to play on increment in such tense position. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Alieza, a hard fight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The exchange of queens, was that an important strategic moment in the game?
Yeah, of course, after exchange of queen, he accepted to just defend this endgame for 5 hours. So he could have gone very more active, I think, like a castle even, or anything is possible, and the game is around equal there. Yeah.
And what do you think? The endgame might not be won, but it's very pleasant for you to pressure and squeeze it.
The game is very tiny better. I don't think even it is 0.40, I don't know. But very tiny better, but he has to play always very passive, and I have always very good initiative, and my pieces are always in a good place. So.
At what moment you realized that you were going to win?
When he played knight d6, I understood that he didn't see the tactic, and after knight d6, rook g2, I think already it's just very hard.
You mean the tactics with knight e5?
Knight e7, yeah.
Or knight e7, yeah. Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
3 times almost in a row. That must be frustrating.
Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating. I think what's the annoying thing for me is that I feel like I made some crucial little mistakes in each 3 games right at the end. Like I've not been able to put maximum pressure right at the end in any of the games. Now, having said that, I don't think I had any objective winning chances in any of these 3 games. So in the sense, 3 draws are an absolutely normal result. But as I said, I feel like if I'd been a little bit more precise in those games, that I might have broken through in one of them. But overall, it also must be said that my opponents are defending well, and especially in those black games, like Jorn played very solidly today. He didn't really leave any doubt as to what his intentions were, and fair game. That's his choice.
And is it your opening preparation that is giving you 2 little chances in the middle games?
I don't know, to be honest. Today I tried to play something unusual, but I guess it's in the nature of the game that you can still be solid with white. Like clearly he only needed to make common sense moves in order to get a decent position. But nevertheless, like at the end, if I don't blunder, then I probably don't win the game, but I at least get to torture him for a long time, which is at least something.
Okay, thank you. Anish, without really knowing what was going on, I told some reporter that you had sort of to fight for a draw. Was that correct?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It was a theoretical variation. I think until very far it was all played before. At least that's what I thought. At least that's what I knew. And then I had a choice to keep the queens on the board because I have compensation for the pawn. I'm pawn down, but I have 2 bishops. And first I was planning to keep the queens on the board, and I was not sure if my compensation is good enough to play for more than equality or not. And I was choosing a lot and double guessing there. But finally I decided to trade the queens, and then I am playing just for equality. I don't think I was ever in great danger. I think the safety margin is enormous in such positions. But it was an interesting choice before to keep the queens or not. Decided to take the easy route here.
Okay, and now tomorrow is the first rest day. Are you satisfied with your play so far?
Yeah, the rest day is very welcome because in my last few tournaments I usually play around 3 days long. So this is already today is the 4th day. I'm feeling feeling the heat. So rest day is great. So far, the play is okay. Yeah, I honestly was hoping to get chances yesterday, but I really didn't get any. I was actually only, I was on the worst side for the most part of the game, so didn't really get chances. I must say that a lot is about getting chances in modern chess. Everybody's well prepared. It's very hard.
And you already got used to the new conditions here, I can say.
Yeah, no, it was fine. I was at first a little bit concerned that this would be very empty and silent and it would feel lonely. But once the game starts, actually, I'm so focused and I have so many problems to solve that it doesn't seem to be an issue at all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I personally would not have bet on a draw in the final position. So what happened there?
Maybe I should have played on, but I just thought it can really go both ways. He had 1 minute and I had 2 minutes, and I was not sure what was going on. I saw the engine now saying zeros, but I wasn't sure. I thought he will
zeros, but even then.
Yeah, even then. I mean, when you have when you're so low on time, anything can happen really. So 3 results were possible, but I thought he.
So there was something like a little bit of fear involved in the decision.
The main reason was because I thought I was just lost like 3 moves before, so I was just so happy to get a half a point. I was sure I'm going to lose at some point.
Well, according to the engines, you probably were losing, but you were also winning at some point.
Yeah, this was just an insane game. It was so crazy. It was just like mental torture from the start. You have to think about so much, and it's just so much to calculate all the time. So it's definitely my most difficult game here so far.
Was it your strategy to get like a tactical game, or you just couldn't manage to keep it strategical?
The thing is, it's actually the most stupid thing you can do against Firouzja to get a like.
I wasn't going to say that, but yeah.
Yeah, like you get a tactical crazy position against Firouzja. That's what he eats for breakfast, So it's just maybe maybe he's as good as Magnus in those positions.
But there was no way to avoid it for you.
I could have avoided it. It was very stupid. I played g4. I went for a crazy game. I should just take on c5. I knew I was slightly better there, but the problem was I couldn't refute g4 and just couldn't fight my demons. I just played g4, and then of course this is position for Firouzja, and he played well. I thought I was doing well. I mean, g4. I thought it should work for me, but I don't know. I have to check it. It was crazy.
Okay, but now after everything is finished, it's a pretty okay feeling, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, before the game, draw with white, it's a normal result, yeah. But just like 20 minutes ago, I thought I was going to lose, so I'm a bit happy to get a half a point.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Yesterday, I was not very sharp, and you escaped me. But that was a game to discuss. I mean, who am I? But according to me, it was one of the best game I've seen in a long time. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think it was close to being one of my best games I've ever played. But yeah, not quite. I mean, you also have to finish the game off. But yeah, I was actually a bit surprised because when he played bishop f6, I thought this move was losing because of what happened in the game. And I was kind of shocked he didn't play knight takes c3, which looked like much more messy. I mean, and at least there it gave me like many options, while here he was kind of forcing. So I thought he would play knight c3. He played bishop f6, which I thought is kind of crazy because it goes by force into the position we had. Where after
But still, you spent like 15 or 20 minutes in that position. Why was that?
Well, I still had to make sure. I mean, it's still very complicated, and I didn't want to rush with my moves, and also I was like not entirely sure to take on h7 or to play rook d5 first. It wasn't a completely obvious choice, but I rejected it because if he plays g6, my attack sort of finishes. And when we got to the position after king h8, I kind of knew that bishop d4 was an option because I'd spent quite a bit of time looking at the position before we got there, and I was hoping there was be more. Like I was looking at queen h3, queen h7. It's the forcing checks where I take on g6. He takes on b2, and I play king b1. And here he has to make a quiet defensive move, rook e7, because I have a threat mate. I've made a queen of 7, threat of queen of 7 mate, and then I thought there should be something winning there, but I couldn't see it. So I eventually settled on bishop d4, which was not really what I wanted because the game kind of continues and continues and continues. And maybe I should have just gone for it, but I really wasn't sure. But I was very happy with this queen f7, all this stuff. It looked winning. And after queen a2, I felt like it was winning. I had about 3 minutes left. My first instinct was rook g3. It threatens rook a3, trapping the queen. It also threatens like rook h3, queen g6. If he takes the pawn, it's winning. And then I spent like more or less 2.5 of my 3 minutes because after queen a1, king d2, king h7, I couldn't like finish him off. I was very surprised. Rook h3, knight h5, he has like this construction. It's probably still winning, but it was like somehow I was
But not like forcing.
Well, it's all very forcing for him. Yeah. So it feels like I should be able to calculate this to a win, but maybe I started in the wrong place with rook g3, and if I had started with like rook takes g6, then I would have probably just played this and gone to a pretty trivial winning ending, where he takes the pawn on b2, I play rook g3, and he has to trade queens on e4, and it wasn't clear to me that this was winning over the board, but I didn't have enough time to really verify it. But after rook a3, it's actually very, very trivial. And in the game, I just made one stupid move. I think the main reason I can blame myself for not winning this is that I played rook e1. If I had played a4, which was like, basically I was going to play a4, and then I thought I'll play rook e1 and paralyze him for a move, and this was just a terrible blunder. After that, it becomes very difficult to win. But a4, I think I would have cleaned up the game pretty easily if I'd played that. So yeah, it was like just one regret during that game.
Yeah, and the ending is also probably difficult because you realize you sort of spoiled it already a little bit.
Yeah, okay, of course, rook e1, it was a disappointment also in terms of still fighting for a win after. It becomes quite difficult. I mean, I was told that if I had played like king c3 and king b2 at some point, it was winning, but I don't think I can even think in this direction to put my king on b2. And I'm not even sure if it was 100% winning. I mean, some strong engines are saying white might win, but I can't really blame myself for things which don't even come to my mind. So the main regret I have is that I didn't play a4.
Okay, thank you. Great game, not a good result for you.
Thanks.
Do I have to be angry to you today?
Yeah, I guess you have to.
Because sort of out of nothing, I checked your position after 20 moves, and the engine said that you were much better.
Yeah, that was my impression as well. At some point, quite early on, I think he should try to just liquidate and trade as much as possible, but he kept the position fluid for 1 or 2 moves too much, and suddenly I have just taken over completely after I get this d5 in, and I'm so active, and his king is very vulnerable. But it took me too much time to find this out, and then in the time trouble I played very, very poorly.
And all your chances vaporized?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it looked very promising with the attack. But even like towards move 40, what we got, I could probably just have picked up a pawn or two instead of what I was trying to repeat the position once. And then on move 41, consider whether I should pick up the pawns or make the draw. But he didn't have to repeat. And on move 41, he played on. Or he played another move and secured the draw. So that was very, very stupid. Had I had a couple of more minutes, I would just have picked up some pawns. And don't know if I will win, but very good chance at least.
And it must have been an intense game today because you entered the press room without realizing you're still the leader.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, after missing so many chances, it feels a bit strange. But on the other hand, I also made some good moves again today, so I'm overall not too dissatisfied. It's just nice to be playing some chess.
Okay, and 2.5 out of 4. Before the tournament, you probably would have signed immediately for that score.
Yeah, definitely. But okay, it's still 9 games. It's basically a full tournament left, so anything can happen, of course.
Okay, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. The fairy tale isn't over yet. Is this the most exciting week of your life so far?
I don't know. Chess-wise, it's definitely the most exciting.
But chess is important to you, obviously.
It's important, but it's not everything. No, it's of course very nice. Yeah, did not really expect it to go this way.
No, because discussing the game, this line was probably well known to the both of you. Yeah, I mean, he played it before. That's what somebody told me. And there was this moment that there was sort of a forced repetition of moves. Were you aware of that? With the knight h5.
Yeah, I was not going to repeat. Without saying too much, I did not intend to repeat the moves. But it's clear that this is the way that black should play. And although I have some ideas, it's of course fine for black. I mean, the position is balanced. But it's still possible to ask some questions for black. And this is what I was going to do. And if he finds a couple of more only moves, then he is just fine, or it's just a draw.
Yeah, and I saw the two of you speaking after the game. Was he, with queen e6, was he playing for a win? Or did he just spot the move knight h5?
No, he spotted the move knight h5, but he said that he just felt that it looked so incredibly dangerous because his king is stuck in the center and he's wasting 2 moves going back and forth with the knight. But the problem is, of course, after queen e6 that I'm just a pawn up. So, I mean, he probably should have tried to make knight h5 work for even longer, like not trust his instinct, but calculate even more. And then I'm a pawn up, but it's a pawn. It's no more, no less. So I still have to win the game. And I'm not super happy with my conversion, but I think it was sort of fine.
Okay, but you started thinking very long again. What about time management?
Yeah, I mean, well, I say that my conversion was fine. My time management was definitely not. Yeah, it was no, absolutely awful. I spent like almost an hour on 2 moves just after I won the pawn, which is unacceptable. What to do? What to say?
But it is the decision making that you're not capable of at that time to make the choice for the move.
Exactly. I mean, I have a couple of similar options. I know that they are all quite similar, so then why don't I just pick one? Yeah, this is the question, and this is definitely something that I will need to improve on if I want to score more points.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, a draw against Fabiano in a very sharp line. How was your preparation?
Yeah, I was preparing this line, but I couldn't remember all directions, so I just was thinking, and probably somewhere I had big problems. Yes, but I don't know where exactly.
I noticed that Fabiano played very quick throughout the game. He was well prepared as well, obviously.
Yes, but I knew that he played bishop e3 instead of knight e3. And I was ready for this move, but how I don't remember position, but I think I played well.
So satisfied?
Yes,
today?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
A draw, but what an exciting game it was. What was your experience?
Yeah, it was very complicated. I was very concerned with my position at some point. And then later I think he went for a sequence which is not good for him. It was a very strong pawn sacrifice by me, and I thought I saw. I must say, like, I made the move, and then after I made my move, I realized that I missed a huge opportunity, and then it was very annoying to sit there. And after his move, I made another move which I was unhappy with. So finally, I decided to just send out a draw offer before I make one more move, which I'll regret.
Yeah. Okay. And prior to this conversation, you checked it with the engine. And did you actually miss a big chance?
You need to have a stronger engine, but yeah, I mean, without engine, I already thought at some point when I played this move Rook A-D1, which is very natural. It's good, but I realized right after I made it that I have Knight D2, which is very strong. Just ignore the pawn, not even attack it, and play around it. And when I realized that, yeah, I was very, very unhappy that I didn't do this. And then on the next move, it's not as good anymore. And I went for something where I thought I maybe can win an exchange by force, but then I realized it's not good. Finally, I decided to trade knights. But I think when we trade a pair of knights, things become a lot easier for him, because his other knight might come to e5 to c4. So yeah, the way I played, I didn't like that he can take on d2 and play rook e6, and then I already thought that yeah, his pawn is becoming quite annoying actually. So yeah, I think it was a missed opportunity, but it's not so easy to play, because if I had more time, it would have been much easier to play, because you have to control counterplay and build on your positional compensation, and it's not so simple without time.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
In top level chess, you get few chances. You got a very good one today, and you didn't see it. How is that?
I'm still in shock. I mean, the whole game I was worse and begging for a draw. So it was insane that I had bishop b5. So yeah, that's just a huge shock for me.
Is one of the reasons maybe that you don't expect to get a chance?
Yeah, probably you're not looking for a chance there with black, because you're basically trying to make a draw against the 4 pawns. So it's incredible, this chance. I should have seen it, of course, but it has to be said that before that, I think I was dead lost also. So after the game, I was very happy to make a draw, but now you told me bishop b5 was winning.
Yeah, the engine. And during the game, first you were worse, but he probably actually played very well, and it got worse and worse.
He played very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think before the time control, before move 40, I was lost. I think he could go g4 at some point, but somehow I managed to get some tricks in, and after move 40, maybe it's a draw actually.
Actually, the engine thought instead of king f2, a4 was a better chance.
It's winning, yeah, or it makes it much more difficult.
Not clear for my engine that calculated 50 ply, so not so easy, but a lot better. And after king f2, it's sort of a dead draw, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, even after king f2, I thought I had to be very careful, because it's not so easy to play with black. I guess the engine is saying 0, but
it's very easy when you know it's 0, but you didn't.
Yeah. But the fact that I was winning there at some point is a bit disappointing. But at the same time, in general, I think I should be very happy with the draw in this game. I mean, I had this one chance with bishop b5, but it's a bit out of the blue.
Okay, good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
Magnus just told me same story as the previous days. He probably meant that he had small advantage, little chances, but his opponents defended well and managed to get away with the draw. Do you agree with that verdict?
Probably yes. Of course, it would have been easier if I didn't get under that small pressure, but I think I actually played for the first 30 moves, let's say. I played quite well, and then when time started to get short, I probably got into a little bit of trouble and had to find probably what I did after the time control. I'm not sure if it was necessary, but I think I made life a little harder than necessary for myself, but in the end it worked out.
And in the final phase of the game, did you have to calculate a lot?
Yes, and
were there dangerous lines for you?
Yes, in fact, I spent probably around half an hour deciding on rook a2, because the alternative was e4, and basically you have to figure out if the position is a draw or not at that point. And there are some forced lines, and sometimes I end up down a piece, but I think those are actually the harmless ones, and the one I chose was actually quite dangerous. At least it looked like if something goes wrong here, it goes wrong forever.
Okay, well, thank you, good luck.
Thank you.
Jordan, You just scored your first victory in the tournament against David Anton. Congratulations. First, I want to go back to the previous rounds. You had a lot of strong opponents, and well, you passed the test quite well. Had you expected that?
No, definitely not. When I saw the pairings at first, I thought, oh, that's a tough start of the tournament, especially because I've started with a couple more blacks. So yeah, this was definitely testing at the beginning, but I thought, okay, at least I get the strong guys immediately. So, like the really strong guys, so I will get rid of them early at least, and then I can play, well, still very strong guys, but a little bit less strong maybe. So yeah, I was very happy when I got 2.5 out of 5 out of the first 5 rounds.
Yes, and then today, and how did you wake up with a different state of mind? Today I'm gonna try.
No, not really. I know Anton is also very strong, and actually I lost to him just 1 month before, also with the white pieces. So, but yeah, okay, I just try to, you know, I'm playing with white, so I try to push for some advantage, but nothing extraordinary or something like that.
Okay, according to the engines, the idea to change a knight with knight h5 instead of knight h7 was not so good because, well, his rook gets in a funny position probably, and his knight is losing some squares. How did you evaluate your position at that moment?
Yeah, I was very surprised by knight h5. I didn't even see that move coming. So when he touched the knight, I was wondering where he's going. And then I thought, okay, he's probably going to h7, and maybe it makes sense. Then he went to h5. It was like surprising, but maybe it's not that bad. But then I saw this idea with trapping his rook on h5, and then I understood my position must be pretty good because his rook is just really weird on the h file, and it's really out of the game. So I was happy
and his
there.
pieces lack coordination in a way.
Yeah, it's like a Zaitsev, but only the rook is on h5, so it's not really doing anything there, and he cannot really free it so easily. And also, it's very hard for him to come up with a plan. His knight on b4 is also a bit out of the game, so I don't know if I played well after that, but
at some point he came back a little bit into the game, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know what I did wrong exactly, but it felt like that to me too. I missed some ideas of his, but then it helped that he blunders the piece in the end, of course.
And collapses, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, because if he doesn't do that, he may still be able to put up a really good fight at least.
Okay, we're almost halfway now. At the beginning, you said your ambition was to win the tournament. Well, of course, probably. What is your ambition here? Do better than last year?
No, no real ambitions. You know, I'm just happy to play some chess. I mean, didn't play much chess last year, and trying to gain some rating points. Maybe that's it.
So far, you're doing exactly that.
Yeah, precisely. So
good luck.
It's good, going good.
Isa, congratulations. A strategic game that became very tactical at some point. Can I describe it like that?
Yes, sure. Very okay. The opening is very double-edged, of course. He has 2 bishops, but I have some good pawns in the right side of the board, and I think at some point he played very good. He was a little better, but the game always was very complicated, practically.
Yeah, went up and down for both parties. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and we were both in time trouble, and he made the final mistake. So.
And that was the moment you realized you were going to win the game.
Yeah, sure. After when his king came to the center, then I understood it. Just
no. What I actually meant was maybe already before that, it was some moment that you thought you were going to win, but then he came back in the game, maybe. Or it was just exciting.
No, it was in the middle game. I never thought I have a very big winning chances, but I was just playing the best moves.
Okay, +1.
Yes.
Good luck in the rest of the
Thank you very much.
Against Fabiano, but probably a relief after the game of today.
Yeah, definitely. I was under pressure for the last 4 hours, clearly, so definitely a relief.
And were you, in a way, surprised that he managed to put so much pressure on you in that final phase of the game?
Not so much in the final phase of the game, but I was surprised that I thought I made a couple of natural moves in the opening, and I ended up in a very unpleasant position. Something must have gone very wrong. This was surprising. But then, in this opposite-colored middle game and also in the ending, his bishop is always better than mine, so I think it's always I mean, computer will probably say that it's equal, but in my opinion, much easier to play for black all game. So no, I felt I was under pressure for most of it.
And then you lost or sacrificed the pawn to free the rook, or because in a way he was playing rook and bishop against rook ending motives, yeah?
Exactly, like because my bishop is cut off and his bishop is working, so it's very similar to rook and bishop against rook. So actually it was a huge relief for me when I was able to give the pawn on b2 just to activate my king, because after that, with the king active, this a pawn is not so dangerous, and I felt it should be a relatively easy draw. But before he took on b2, I was very afraid. I mean, it looked incredibly shaky. I don't know if it was winning at some point for him, but it wouldn't surprise me.
And again, I saw your minutes tick away.
Yeah, but in this kind of position, I think anybody would think for a long time. It's simply so unpleasant to play.
Good. Now it's almost halfway of the tournament. And you're still leading. Is this news in Sweden or just on the chess website?
I have no idea. I'm not really reading news during the tournament. So
no, in general, is chess popular in Sweden? Is it followed by the general public?
Not so much. I mean, not as much
Do
as we would hope
people
to.
know you?
Not really. I think more people know me in Norway than in Sweden even.
Okay.
So not so much, unfortunately. But it will come, hopefully.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I draw with black against Magnus Carlsen, and it seemed to cost you little effort. Can you explain that?
Well, actually, I prepared something and I played something else. But I think I do not know if this c4 is the right way, but I believe that it should be equal, because almost any rook endgame with one pawn down should be not so difficult to hold. And I had to calculate just one trick, which actually happened in the game. So I was not really worried when I when I managed to get this position, because e6 pawn is looks nice, but it's not going anywhere. Of course, if the bishop, if white can get the bishop to d6 or something like this, it can. But even if white manages to place the bishop on d8, it's nothing special, because my bishop on e5 is pretty good, and I thought it should be equal.
And were you surprised about the way he played the opening in general?
Not really. I mean, I think I don't know if this is the right. I mean, theory. I don't know what is the right theory, but I felt he played most logical. Maybe queen could have been on f3, but then it's a different game. I wouldn't play the same way as I did in the game. And in the game, it's just this c4 works or not, and I have to check with Inchen. Maybe we missed something, but to me it looks like it's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Tari, a second consecutive win and moving to +2. First of all, how do you feel after this?
Yeah, very good, of course. Especially win with the black pieces. I mean, in this tournament, no win comes easily, but especially with the black pieces, it's very hard to win a game. So, yeah, feeling super happy and very satisfied about my play today as well.
At the opening ceremony, you joked that you wanted to win this tournament. Is this getting more serious now?
No, I mean, we're just started actually. I mean, it's still a lot of games to go, and I mean, every game is going to be tough. I mean, tomorrow I have to play Maxime with the black pieces, so every game will be tough, so I'm not really thinking about that yet. But, I mean, so far it's going really well, so I hope I can keep it up.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the game today. According to the engine, bishop c2 was a blunder by Aryan. Did you feel the same way, or at which moment did you feel you were completely winning?
Yeah, bishop c2 surprised me a little bit for sure, but I already liked my position there. I thought once I got this f5 in, basically all my pieces start working together, but bishop c2 was certainly strange, because this bishop is quite nice on b3, so I don't see why he feels the urge to place it there, but already there I think he was not feeling comfortable, and I was playing fast and he was nearing time trouble, so I guess he just wanted to make a move and not think for too much.
more impressive opening preparation by yourself today. How much of an advantage do you feel it is to have a second here on site with you?
Yeah, it depends per person, I think. But for me, it's always very nice to have someone there who you can talk to. And, especially this year in Wijk, it can be rather lonely. So it's very nice when you have a second or just a friend, who you can talk to after the games and just have some company.
And final question, you already mentioned it, tomorrow is second black against Samviel, who has been struggling a little bit in this tournament so far. Is that on your mind, the fact that he's not doing so well?
I didn't really think about the game yet, but I know he's not doing well, but he's still, top 10 player, so he's very, very strong. So it will be probably a super tough game, and I'm looking forward to it, that's for sure. But it won't be easy for sure.
Great, thank you very much and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Nish, congratulations. You have just beaten Niels Grandelius, moving to +2. Things escalated quickly there at the end. Things didn't seem so clear and suddenly the A-pawn was running.
Yeah, very happy to win. But he was very well prepared in the opening. Obviously, he bought the right courses. The only thing I was wondering if he also bought the video or just the course. This was my main question during the game.
Is that what you spent 38 minutes on when you were faced with Rook C8?
The audacity, and I'm happy to pay some rating points in exchange for buying my course, but at least if you buy with the video, because otherwise it's really cheap. So
maybe we should explain actually to our viewers who might not know what we're talking about.
They know. Everybody knows.
Everyone knows. You've plugged it so much.
Everybody knows. It's no point. There's no point plugging my course because it's already overplugged. It's just the truth. I've recorded the Chessable course at www.chessable.com/Najdorf. Also, I have a French course at www.chessable.com/Anish. And many more courses coming at www.chessable.com. Stay tuned for more updates. And
So tell us on a serious note, how did it feel? So you recommended that move Rook C8 as a novelty in that course. How did it feel to be met with the move over the board?
Yeah, for sure. I somehow started to remember many things. I prepared, of course, for this because it's a great line. The black can play and equalize comfortably, so I had to be ready for it. But I was choosing between various things, and he was also thinking. I think we were both thinking about some options that we discovered, but that were not mentioned in my course. So we both had to think, what happens if this, what happens with that. And so it cost us an extra hour, and that was very nice because by the time we started playing, it was already like a rapid game. And then with the time pressure, it's difficult for him. I thought he was very fine. I thought King F8 was a horrible move. I don't see the point. It's also even counterproductive, comes under all sorts of tactics. I thought he should push H4 or start forcing matters with Knight D3. I thought it was okay. And in the game, I feel he must be holding because position is very forced. But he has very little time, and I didn't see anything easy. And with time ticking, it's very hard. I actually didn't. I felt like he should hold, but I actually didn't see how.
Tomorrow now you are one of the joint leaders and you will be playing Fabiano Caruana, who has also just won his game, so a big game ahead.
Yeah, I'm terrified. I see Fabiano there with his eyes staring at me behind, from the mask, shaking from fear. I'll try my best.
Anish, we wish you the best of luck. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Fabiano, congratulations.
Thank you.
A fight that wasn't really a fight. Or so it seemed.
Oh, I think it was a fight. I think Maxime was just not really familiar with this old line, Bishop E2. Or maybe he had something prepared because this is his main opening, but he couldn't recall it at the board. And things went wrong for him quite quickly. The only thing is I think I spoiled my advantage at some point a little bit. After e5, it was very important to find e6. I think this was a really strong move. First, I was looking at castle and various moves like that, and black was sort of holding on. But after I saw e6, I started to feel like maybe black is just losing.
And what did you plan after if he takes with the bishop?
Yeah, bishop e6, I had two options in mind. One was to play f5, bishop f5 castle. I sack 3 and potentially 4 pawns because I might also lose c2. But he's just like, his king is in the center, my pieces all are attacking. So I thought this might be winning, and also castle immediately. I thought he has to play bishop f5, and I felt like there should be something very strong here, like rook b3 or bishop d3. Something looked quite strong. so I was kind of undecided, and f6 made it easier for me because bishop h5 is clearly the right move, I thought. And then he surprised me with d4, and I think I went wrong at this moment. Maybe what I did was good, and I didn't really miss a win, but I feel like after d4 there's something that would have been stronger.
I had the impression that you were basically always trying to avoid counter chances.
Well, once I got to the endgame, I mean, I was a bit annoyed because the game really continues for a long time, and I have to keep control, which is not so easy. But I think that I was quite happy to find this bishop h4, forcing his bishop to e7, kind of paralyzing him, then rook b6. So after that, he more or less is just standing still, and I have a free hand to slowly attack d6 with bishop g3, to play c3, to play king d3, c4. I had many ideas. So I think it was winning. I didn't really see how he can defend better, but I still think that I should have cleaned it up earlier.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, congratulations, you have just beaten Wojtaszek with the black pieces. After a solid start with 6 draws, your first victory here in the Wijk Masters. How do you feel tonight?
I'm very happy because it's a big surprise for me to win with black pieces. I don't remember when I last time won with black pieces. So I'm very happy now.
And tell us, when you won the pawn and went into the pawn up ending, did you feel that that was winning from the start?
I wasn't sure that it's winning, but after I played h3, yeah, after that I thought I can win, yeah.
Did you feel that maybe he should have tried to hold on to the pawn by playing rook b1 rather than b3?
I don't remember position, but I remember one moment, I think key moment, when he played b3, he could play rook b1, and it's just a draw, I think.
Yeah, this one I was wondering.
Yes, yes, it's this moment, yeah. So after he played b3, I thought I can win, yeah. So.
And is today a special day in your chess career to win your first game at the Tata Steel Masters Group?
Yeah, I'm very happy. Yeah, I didn't expect that I will win this game, especially with black pieces. Yeah, so I'm very happy.
Tomorrow, a big game. You already told us he is your idol, your favorite player. You're playing tomorrow against Magnus Carlsen. What are you thinking going into that game?
I'm looking forward to this game, but I don't know what to expect. So I just want to play chess, and we will see.
Well, best of luck and congratulations once again on today.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
One never or hardly ever takes with the knight on d4 in the London,
Sure.
except when it's winning. Did
Yes.
you immediately realize that it was very good move?
Yeah, after 10 seconds, I just realized that he probably missed cd4, knight takes, I don't know, knight e6, knight f8, and d7 is hanging. But yeah, and after that, it was just a very...
But he fought very well, and at some point it was difficult.
Yeah, of course, it was very difficult in game to convert. He sacrificed the bishop for these 3 pawns, and it's very interesting. I think I could have done...
Did you see that coming?
I saw it, but I didn't take it so seriously. I think I don't think it's the best move, but there are better moves. But yeah, the game was very tense, of course.
And then in the rook bishop against rook ending, was it to win all the time, or?
No, I think he had chances to make draw, but it was very difficult, at least practical game. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. And
thank you
good
very
luck.
much.
Draw with black against Vasile Graaf, and he's not doing so well, but still the number 5 or 6 in the world. But you made it look so easy.
Yeah, I think he just blundered or not blundered, but he fell into one of the traps in this opening, and after that, black is immediately doing fine at least. Okay, he's not better, but
he has the initiative, yeah. Black.
It kind of simplifies quickly, but I didn't know too much about the position. I just knew black is fine after bishop h3, and that's all. And then it turned out I still had to play quite accurately to draw. I don't know if I played in the best way, but all the moves looked very logical, so that's why I played them. And I don't think he had any big advantage ever.
No, the engines concluded that there was one small inaccuracy from your part.
Yeah.
I guess Queen C4 was better than Queen H5, but okay.
I
And
thought somehow there's knight A5. I don't know.
okay,
Yeah.
I don't know either.
I didn't
but the
consider
thing,
that move.
yeah, but the thing was that after that he might have a little edge in the ending, but you made also one small inaccuracy and you equalized immediately with knight D2. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering where I went wrong because it really didn't feel so pleasant. And okay, I didn't consider Queen C4, so that's probably where it went wrong. I missed this that in the game after you went Rook E5, I cannot take and go Rook D5 because the Rook takes F6. And yeah, then I had to think for a long time, and I found this way. I mean, it should still be very close to a draw because my pieces are quite active, and his knight on B3 is slightly out of the game, but it was a bit unpleasant, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Andrei, wow, you have just beaten world champion Magnus Carlsen. How do you feel right now?
I think it's one of the best day in my life. Yes, I feel very great, and I have nothing to say.
Tell us, how did you manage to remain calm when you knew you were winning, but still Magnus was putting up so much resistance?
After opening, I thought that maybe I have some chances because it's very initiative position, and yes, after I sacrificed my piece, yes, I felt like I can do something in this game. Yes, but after he played knight c6, yeah. Yes, after that I saw this move, and it's just probably winning position, yeah.
And when you understood that you are winning, how did that feel during the game?
I still can't understand it.
And let's just talk very quickly about the opening. You decided to play a very aggressive with this G4, G5. What was your strategy going into your going into the game?
I think it was his choice to beat me probably with this opening, and I just played very logical. So yeah, G5, G4, G5. It's the most aggressive way, I think. Yeah. Before the game, I wanted to play solid, but yes, his choice.
And tomorrow you have a rest day. How do you think you're going to celebrate this victory?
I don't know how I will celebrate, but I will sleep very well today.
I can imagine. Andrei, congratulations one more time.
Thank you.
You have just drawn your game against Anish Giri at the Jabava London, an interesting opening choice.
Yeah, I thought it might be fun, and I felt like maybe I'm freestyling a bit today, but it wasn't really what I minded. I was actually a bit surprised Anish went for G6 because this is supposed to be like the slightly better version compared to E6 lines or Bishop F5 lines. But I guess also Anish wanted to fight because I mean Black has a lot of really good ways of playing it, really good ways of equalizing, and G6 is sort of a very complicated fight. And I got optimistic at some point out of the opening, but I kind of overestimated, I think, my position once the structure becomes semi-locked, once he got H5, knight D7. I feel like it should be very, very close to equal. But then somewhere around Anish's time trouble, I felt like I was very close to winning maybe. I don't know if it's the case, and I think the only thing I can think of was to play Queen F6 after trading on D8. I mean, Queen G8 was just very stupid. If I play Queen F6, at least, I'm not sure if it's winning. Like, he can play F4, I'll bring my king to D3, he'll play, like, King D7, E5, King E6 take, and I thought that I wouldn't really be able to win it, but then after the time control, I started thinking about it, and it seemed like maybe it's very close to winning, so I'm not really sure.
Now, with 5 rounds to go, you're on +2. The field is very close this year. So, what are your thoughts going into the final portion of the tournament?
Yeah, it's going to be close as usual. It seems like nobody's really running away with it. Maybe Alireza is winning. I'm not so sure. In which case, I think he's on +3 if that happens. but nobody is really showing a super dominant score. There's a lot of players who are in contention for the top spots, and unusually Magnus is sort of struggling quite a lot. So yeah, it's going to be close. I can't really make a prediction.
And finally, I have to ask you, did you notice today the kind of historical game unfolding not too far away from you between Yesipenko and Magnus Carlsen?
Yeah, no, I noticed it. It looked like he was in trouble the whole game. I never got the impression that Magnus was okay in this game, although it looked very sharp at some point after rook b8, rook a3. But I also felt like it's probably not ever enough for black. I think just the opening went poorly for him. It looked like he was very well prepared. I don't really know what this line is, but this pawn cycle was all, I guess, preparation, and I guess Magnus was struggling early on.
Final question. You've been here in Wijk aan Zee for almost 3 weeks at this point. What are your plans for tomorrow as the rest day?
Well, there are not too many plans that are possible. I guess, I mean, we usually go on the beach, and hopefully it's not too windy. Like last rest day, we went walking on the beach for a long time, but the wind was so strong that like when we actually had to go walk back against the wind, it was pretty tough. But besides that, I'm not really sure.
Well, fingers crossed for good weather tomorrow. Enjoy your rest day and best of luck with the remaining games.
Thank you.
Niels, a hard-fought draw against Wojciech, but you don't look too happy tonight.
No, well, I think we both played not very well in the beginning. I mean, especially me, I ended up in a slightly worse ending. And then from there, he did not play in the best way. I think he was not sure whether he should be ambitious or whether he should be solid. So he was making sort of a bit of each, and that did not work out too well for him. And then, for sure, I was pressing quite a bit. And after move 40, it's the sort of position where I'm better and should be able to play for a very, very long time. But on the other hand, very hard to break through. But the way I played, I could not really find any plan at all. And suddenly I was low on time and decided just to repeat moves. But it's definitely a missed chance after move 40.
So it did cross your mind in the end to play on?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I should still be a little bit better, but well, much less than I was, let's say, 10 moves earlier, and without a lot of time, almost no time at all. So I decided to be practical, but of course, when you are better, you should in general always aim to fight. So.
And Niels, let me ask you about yesterday's game against Anish Giri. You played his own prep from his night of course, his own novelty against him. Had you watched and studied the course?
No, definitely. I studied the course, and I think he was well aware that I also had studied the course. But the thing was that nobody remembered anything. Like, we spent an hour each reaching a position we both knew was in the course. Well, it was for me a little bit harder than for him to play this position that fast. And getting low on time, he just outplayed me very soundly.
Tomorrow, rest day, what are your plans?
To rest, I think. It's a very tiring tournament, and I think it's very well needed, the rest.
Absolutely. Enjoy it, and best of luck with the remaining games.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. A third consecutive victory, and suddenly you're the sole tournament leader.
Yes, it was a very tough 4 rounds, but okay, I'm happy I got a good result.
Tell us about the game. It was completely crazy.
Yeah, the game, I think he blundered in opening somehow. I don't know if he blundered or he misjudged the position. I think I'm better at the opening, but he defended very well. And the endgame, I think all the game I was much better, but yeah, the endgame was tough, so I'm happy I managed to win. Yeah.
And the tournament standings, how much is that on your mind now already, or you're just playing game by game?
No, yes, of course, it's a very good feeling to be leader, and it helps a lot. And I think it is important for me, but I also keep thinking about the games, of course.
2 days from now, after the rest day, you will play against Andrei Yesipenko, who is the second youngest player in this tournament after yourself, who beat Magnus today. So what are your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, I think he's a very good player. He won against Magnus very convincingly today, I think, and I look forward to the game. I think it will be a very nice game, yeah.
Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
Not for now, but we will see.
Great, congratulations, and enjoy the rest day.
Thank you very much.
Expectations may change fast. Is it just a draw with white again today?
Yeah, definitely not what I was hoping for this game. I was hoping to put some pressure on my opponent, but really didn't manage to put any pressure at all. And I think I made several inaccuracies, and he had a very comfortable position early on, and then I just decided to lock the position and make a draw before even worse things happen.
Okay, but in general, are you surprised by your performance in this tournament?
It was very hard to expect before the tournament how I was going to play, because myself I didn't play much, but also the others, they didn't play much over the board chess. But I know I can play good chess, so I mean,
Okay,
I certainly
nobody doubts that, but
yeah,
against this competition, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, this is so far very good result by me, and not what I was expecting. Let's say. I mean, I guess most of the players, I mean, I know they're better than me, but I can fight with them, and occasionally I can win a game. And I mean, many times in this tournament I was under pressure, and often I would lose those games. But here I somehow managed to draw all of the bad positions and win the two good positions I had. So, I mean, it's a bit of luck, and I mean, maybe I was defending well.
Yeah, maybe. Because of the corona, is your ELO rating maybe too low?
I played some tournaments during the pandemic, and in these tournaments I lost some points. At least I didn't win much.
No, it's okay.
I think it should be okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Big win today against Wojciech with the black pieces to move to +3. Ivan Sokolov tweeted about your game and about your move bishop takes c3. If this decision is good for black, I need to learn chess again. Does he?
I think that these positions are sort of a bit different than we knew in the past. Like the whole King's Indian, I think, has a lot of potential that we didn't realize. And I didn't know if bishop c3 was like correct in this position exactly, but I'd seen it in some similar positions where white can't really free himself. Like if he gets g3, bishop g2, basically black's position is completely awful. But he never gets it. Okay, I think that he misplayed it soon after. I mean, he was playing queen c1, queen b1. This can't be the way to play. He can play like queen c2, and I don't win a pawn, but I just hold him. Like I play knight c5, rook e1, a5, or rook e7, and he doesn't have a way to like get his bishops out without losing a pawn. And I guess he was trying to sack a pawn in the best way, but clearly this wasn't the best way.
What was the moment when you felt that the knights were taking over against the bishops?
Well, it was kind of funny because I felt like my position was much better already after he played like queen b1, queen c1, queen b1, queen e6. I thought I should be much better, but it was like remained very, very difficult to know how much better for a long time. And at some point I realized that like with rook e8, rook e7, knight on f4, when I got like pretty much everything, that I must be maybe close to winning, but it still wasn't easy. And I had like so many choices I couldn't really decide. And after g3 I felt like this should be winning, but I still had to, I think, calculate it pretty accurately.
How important do you feel this win was in your quest to defend your title here at Tata Steel Chess?
Oh, I mean, this one is definitely important, but it's not like we're at a situation in the tournament where, you know, there are must-win games or anything. It's still like a huge cluster of players at the top and many games to go. And I guess I'll be in the shared lead because I don't think that Ali Reza is going to win the game. I assume it'll be a draw. So I guess I'll be in shared lead. But there's also like so many players, half a point behind.
So many players, so many games still. Tomorrow you're white against St. Magnus Carlsen. Is that always a special game?
Well, it's always a tough game, a very tough game. And despite him not being in the best of shape here, okay, I think that he's really has to win the game today. I mean, he probably will win it. I mean, he's up a pawn. And it was also sort of a must-win for him in terms of still fighting for first place. But despite not being in the best shape, I mean, he's always remains a really, really tough opponent.
Thank you, Fabi, and good luck.
Thank you.
There is a very hard-fought draw against Yesipenko. Did you feel like you were under some pressure at some point?
I don't know. Yeah, I was in the time trouble, but position was always very solid, and I didn't have any chance, I think. Maybe I had a little edge in the opening, but in the middle game, I think it was all clean draw. Yeah.
There was one interesting moment where he could have played g5 and you would have to probably sacrifice
Yeah.
your bishop. What did you think of that line?
Yeah, I think it's a very dangerous line. Maybe computer gives some plus for black, but it's a very dangerous line, practical game. So
And how did you deal with the time pressure? You were very short in time. Did you feel that the experience of playing over the board, for example, in Norwich has helped you?
yeah, for sure it helps a lot, but of course it's a hard thing to do always, even if you have experience. So I was a bit worried, but hopefully the position was not that complicated, so I managed to consolidate everything. Yeah.
4 rounds to go. How are your energy levels?
I have energy. Hopefully I don't lose it in this tomorrow game, and after it there is a break. So yeah.
Great. Thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you.
David, you were pressing against Hari Krishna, but in the end it wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, I think I had very good position, but it's never easy to win. Of course, with the bishop is never so easy to win this kind of position. Probably I could have done something better, but I didn't see how. And yeah, I think he hold like quite easily.
I really liked your king run when you ran your king up to f3. How did it feel during the game with the king on f3?
Yeah, it's a bit strange, but actually I think it is very safe. Black doesn't have any ideas against the king, so I was happy with that idea. And yeah, I think it should be just better for white after that.
And tell us, how is it to be playing here in the Masters group for the first time?
Of course, it's great to play a tournament like this. I mean, the most prestigious tournament in the world. Unfortunately, the tournament is not what I wanted. In -2 is I had some very good position that I couldn't win. So yeah, it's not going so great, but I'm still unhappy that I can play this tournament.
Still 4 rounds to go, plenty of time, 2 rounds back.
Yeah, of course, I'll try to win some games. I hope I can at least win 1 game in this tournament, but I know it's going to be tough. Every opponent is very strong, so I'll try.
Thank you, David, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Been quite a relief.
Yeah, I mean, after so many games, it's good to get a win again. Obviously, it doesn't get me very far in terms of tournament standings, but yeah, I have to start winning at some point, and obviously, yeah, it was a good result. The game in itself, I think, was probably more interesting than good, but I think my conversion was at some point pretty inaccurate, but then I managed to pull myself together at the end and yeah, finish it off quite nicely. So all in all, yeah, it was a long day, but I'm happy, of course.
Okay. For the past 7-8 days, were there ever moments of despair?
Yes.
Am I ever going to win again?
So, yeah, against Yasipenko, there were some poor moments for me. Obviously, I made a huge blunder there as well. But in general, he played well in that game. The one I'm really unhappy about is the game against Duda, where I had very good chances to win, and I just played too quickly. And I mean, I was a bit tired, so that's why I couldn't pull myself together there. But that was really inexcusable. Apart from that, I feel like I've been trying. Been trying in all the games, but I just haven't gotten anywhere. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the next few days. At least I have some very interesting opponents, so hopefully I'll get some interesting games at least.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anish, back in the lead. A very tough fight today.
Yeah, it was a very interesting game. I think he played well, very well in at some point, and sacrificed an exchange and got a beautiful positional compensation for exchange on the pawn. And yeah, I was just trying to hold on. Honestly, I was just trying to defend at some point. I mean, I don't think white can ever be better in such a horrible king, and I was just hoping that I'm not going to get mated right away. And if as long as maybe I keep myself together, I have so much material that maybe I'm okay. And yeah, I was never ambitious until at one point things started moving, and I got my d pawn going. I activated my bishop, and then suddenly I'm having quite good chances, and we got into an endgame where I think it should be a draw, but I have good chances, and I think the rook endgame, I believe I won it by force. So I think once we got the rook endgame, it's just winning. I didn't see a defense for him.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Fabiano, are you satisfied with today's result?
I guess, I mean, the draw is a normal result. I thought that I had a very good position out of the opening. I don't think this is how black is supposed to approach the opening. But there were so many options, I wasn't really sure. After like queen e7, while he was thinking, I was thinking of various options like involving e4, cd5, e4, knight h4, and I thought I should maybe avoid allowing him a stonewall. And I just thought c5 and e4 should be very promising. But I somewhat overestimated my position after when I'm a pawn up. I thought that I would have an advantage when I saw it from afar, but it once I got there, it just suddenly seems like very, very little. And at the end, I was almost worried that I'm starting to risk things because it started to get a bit tactically dangerous. So yeah, maybe actually ed5 and rook e1 wasn't the right choice. Maybe like queen a4, some other option, or rook e1 immediately was better.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Magnus, an accident in the opening that you got away with, or wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit frustrating to be honest. Like, I sort of got what I wanted from the opening. Usually, in this line, white is a little bit better, but I have the bishop pair, and in that sense, I have some long-term chances. And yeah, I think when I played b6, I blundered about, well, conservatively estimated 3 things. And he took on d5, which surprised me quite a bit. And then clearly after rook e1, I just need to go queen d8, not to blunder. And as long as he doesn't have anything tactically, like queen a4, I have b5, so I don't think that's a big deal. So yeah, so he has to do something like this, move his queen away. But I think then it's pretty clear that I have a decent position. I guess after that, it was not the worst blunder of a pawn. With the bishop pair, possibilities for upset colored bishops. Yeah, it's always not going to be very much. And I think knight e5 that he played, if he had something, it was not that move, because after that I just consolidated, and in those positions his extra pawn doesn't mean very much. My bishop is a lot better than his is. His pawn is blockaded, and in general I should have enough activity to secure the draw pretty comfortably. And at any rate, the course of the game didn't prove that was not the case.
After 3c3, you took quite a long thought. Why was that?
No, I thought he's played the Catalan, which I didn't expect. I was expecting sharpness in some other fashion. So I thought, I've sort of regretted on other days not thinking in the opening, because I played my preparation and then ended up not liking my position. So I thought this time, let me think from the start and just try and get a game.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Or very imaginative play?
No, this was definitely not preparation. I don't think my opponent played this system before, so just improvised this move, e5. It looked interesting. I don't know, it's probably not so good, but I didn't want to walk into his preparation, and I thought I sacrifice a pawn and maybe I get some initiative. And
But then you sacked another pawn.
yeah, it also looked interesting. I don't know. I just I wanted to play a fighting game today at least, and that's why I wanted to play the King's Indian. And then we got this line, and we definitely got a fighting position, and I really liked my position at some point as well.
His queen got into trouble.
Yeah, and his knight on a4 was also out of the game, but I just didn't see a way to break his defenses. It felt like there should be something, and I guess there is something, but I just didn't see it. It felt like
There was this crazy line. Instead of h5, you can play rook ab8.
Okay, yeah.
Queen c4, knight takes f2. And now, if he plays rook takes f2, there is this line.
I still don't see.
Yeah, where you can play rook b4 in the end, pinning everything. So bishop e6.
Well, okay, this
Queen
is
f4. Yeah.
It's too much for me. I was looking at knight takes f2 ideas, but not at this moment.
But it's almost impossible to calculate for a human being over the board, I guess.
I didn't even try to calculate it. I
but
didn't
you'd
look
see
at it.
You'd see knight f2, which is...
I didn't see it at all.
Oh,
yeah.
you didn't? Ah, I'm sorry.
And I saw it in, I think after he went bishop d1, I was looking at it, and then he takes with the king, and then I can take on d1 and go bishop c2, these kind of ideas. But this was, at this moment, what you're talking about, I definitely didn't take a look at knight takes f2 yet.
Okay, but you realized that your initiative was going away, and it was sort of disappointed.
Yeah, I think some of my moves were not the best, and then I didn't see a breakthrough, and just decided to at least gain back one of my pawns before things get worse, and then maybe he's definitely okay, maybe slightly better, but you know, we're both approaching time trouble, and it's such a hard position to play, and eventually found a way to repeat the moves.
Okay, but then mathematically speaking, a draw with black against Dudar is not really bad.
No, before the game I would definitely sign for it, and it was an interesting game, so I'm not disappointed, and I'm happy with a draw.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Congratulations, you have just beaten David Anton, and you're now one of the joint leaders. First of all, how do you feel tonight?
I'm happy, but it was very complicated game. Somewhere he had advantage, I think, but I think he missed this stuff a3 before, and after that I think I had some advantage.
Yeah, which was the moment, do you think, where things turned around and suddenly you're just so much better and you never let go?
Yeah, when I took his pawn on a6, and after that I understood that maybe I will win.
And let's talk about the tournament situation now. You're one of the joint leaders. Okay, Anish is still playing. There were only 3 games left, and you're playing 3 of the lowest rated players in the field. So are you starting to think about tournament victory?
Not really, because every player here is very strong, and yeah, I can't predict the rest of the tournament.
And let me ask you, after you beat Magnus, you said you will go to the did you go to the supermarket?
Yes, I bought something like juice, chocolate. Yeah.
Do you have the same plan for tomorrow?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, Andre, well, enjoy and congratulations.
Thank you.
Draw against Harik Krishna, how would you describe the fight?
It was an interesting game. After the opening, I thought I was totally fine, and actually I thought that only black could be better after we changed the queens and I played g5, bishop g4, because I knew bishop g5 is inaccurate, but actually it got unpleasant for sure. I would say around move 35 or something. I was very happy to find bishop f2. Harry had some pressure, but he missed bishop f2, and then he has to play g4, which is good for me. Then I get the f4 square, and then I managed to hold.
And at some point, he could take the pawn on e5, but he didn't. Do you know why? I think he played knight a5 at that point.
Yeah, he could take it, but I think I take everything and take on f3. I thought it was fine for me.
Draws, yeah, or
Yeah.
And in the final position, the engine thought that you were maybe a little bit better when you transfer the knight to g5 through h8. Is that a plan?
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. No, I thought it was
Because
like.
then his rook is sort of in trouble to protect f3. Nothing special, but a little bit better for you.
Oh, interesting. I really didn't see knight h8. I thought like both of us cannot improve the position. That's why I thought it was draw. I mean, I'm a pawn up, but it's a double pawn, and I thought I just cannot break through. But you're saying knight h8, knight f7 is
counterintuitive, maybe, yeah.
It's a nice plan. Yeah, I actually didn't see it. I thought he was on the good side, but I could be wrong.
Okay, so but satisfied with the draw.
It's normal. It's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You were a little bit under pressure today, or so it seemed. Do you agree?
I don't know. I was trying to make things complicated by playing this opening, and it went to the end game very fast, and I don't think I have a real chance there in the end game. And he got maybe some pressure, but I don't think it's anything big for him. So yeah, draw was a good, decent result. Yeah.
Because probably his pieces weren't so active. Was there a way for him? Did you see a way for him to make, for instance, a rook active?
Yeah, I think he should have played better in this time trouble. After the time trouble was finished, it was just okay, but he could have done some rook c1 maybe after b3, yeah, but it was not easy with the very little time on the clock. Yeah.
And from that, after time trouble, you were holding the position?
Yeah. After that, it was just a clear, I think it was clear draw, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Your game against Alexander Donchenko, was that one of the biggest turnarounds you've ever had?
I don't know about turnaround. Of course, I played so badly in the opening stage and early middle game, and yeah, I really didn't expect to win this game. But things like this happen. I was pretty. I was playing badly, and I was pretty unlucky so far. So maybe I got a bit of the luck back today.
Well, absolutely. You talked about the opening. What happened there? Could there be some element of tilt that the tournament hasn't been going your way so far?
No, I mean, the opening choice was not about tilting. Maybe the tilting part was how I treated the position afterwards.
And when did you feel that you were starting to get some winning chances in the queen ending?
Yeah, I thought it should never be a win, but when it settled to 3 against 2, I was confident that I would be able to press on, and f5 was a bit strange, I think. Maybe g6 is the best way to hold this sort of comfortably. After f5, it already looks very unpleasant. I'm not sure if there was a draw for him after g6, but it looked at least very close to winning.
Tomorrow is a rest day. After that, 3 more games. Do you feel like this win is going to motivate you one more time for the final stages?
Yeah, I don't know. I just need to, grab myself together. Things really had not been going my way at all. And like even when I got promising positions, I couldn't do anything with them. So we'll see how it goes. In the last 3 rounds, there's still a lot to play for. I'm trying to at least make my tournament end on a high note for my last classical games, I guess, so before the candidates.
You just mentioned it, the candidates. Let me ask you, I guess you are aware that Fabiano Caruana, before winning the candidates, and also Sergei Karyakin in 2016, they both had a very bad result here in Wijk aan Zee and went on to win the candidates?
Yeah, I didn't do this on purpose, if that's the question.
But is it maybe a good sign? Did it cross your mind?
We'll see. I mean, it's definitely a good thing that it happens here and not in the candidates, but there's still a lot of work to do to make it not happen in the candidates.
Maxime, thank you very much and best of luck with the last few games.
Thank you.
A dramatic win today, and a win you need to stay in the race for tournament victory. Yeah, you are laughing. Don't you agree?
Why do I have to stay? The others have to stay in the race, no? I mean, stay in the race.
Also, yeah, but I mean, can you explain what happens? Because the engines were claiming it was 0-0-0 all the time, and then suddenly you built up a very dangerous attack.
Yeah, thank you. No, first of all, I'm a little bit crying because not only because I'm very happy that I won, but also because the COVID tests keep going deeper and deeper, just like my preparation. Yeah, I at some point I think in the opening I was sort of flirting with being slightly worse, but maybe never quite was slightly worse. And then when he started some F65 business, I transitioned into a very good position. And then I think I could have got more than what I got, but I already had little time. So I somehow managed to allow him to trade everything. It was very hard for me to see how to keep pieces on the board. My problem was that I had too little time. You need a lot of time to like calculate and over, and I didn't see quite how to pin him down. Finally, we got this position with an endgame 3-3, and it's a draw, of course, but he doesn't want to go into 3-2, obviously, and the smallest problems are unpleasant because it's a completely drawn position. So as you know, as it happens sometimes in such cases, once you get some small chances, then things go very well. And in the end, actually, it kind of happens smoothly, you could say. After I played knight h4, suddenly he has small issues. If he defends the pawn with rook a6, and I have f4, and I keep him down, likely I will get 3-2 at some point. And if he goes how he goes in the game, I think after g6 h6 at some point. And if he goes how he goes in the game, I think after g6 h6 already he's on the verge suddenly. I would guess that was a decisive, or at least it was a huge mistake, because then, you know, once my pawn is on h6, there is like potential to actually win the game, not just get 3-2. And then he kept missing things. I think it was very important to play king to g3, not take on f3, not king h3 either. And then also rook cd7 was accurate, and g5, and then finally the threat was rook takes h7, but he didn't see it coming.
And tomorrow there's Magnus.
Tomorrow there's Magnus, but day after I also play him. So
sorry, yeah. Okay, but
yeah, no, I'm terrified. Yeah.
As always.
As always.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Line with black that you chose, isn't that supposed to be not so good for black?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's pretty okay actually after this f5 stuff. I think f5 is close to being a novelty. I'm not sure. Maybe it was played, but I think it's reasonable for black actually. Yeah, but the thing is that what my opponent play, I mean, rook db4 is the strongest move for him, and yeah, I couldn't recall what I'm supposed to play. And I think there was some concrete line when it worked for black, because otherwise, yeah, maybe queen f7 or rook a7, I wasn't sure. I just, total blackout. And yeah, and in the game it seemed like I'm a bit worse because my bishop on c8 was stuck. Because usually I should be on time with bishop b7, bishop d5 or something. Yeah, but I mean, it still wasn't so simple for him, because okay, my bishop on c8 is bad, but I mean, it defends everything, and it's I mean, it's difficult for him to play, not allowing me any counterplay. So yeah, maybe queen b3 wasn't the best, but I mean, it was, I think, pretty decent try actually. After the rook is c7, then knight takes e6 was also an option, but then rook c3, queen d5, rook d7, queen and 8 is some, I mean, totally bizarre variation, which probably is unclear, but it feels like that with king on g3, it's risky for white somewhat. So yeah, and after rook takes e6, I think king h7 is a pretty good move, and after that, I think it's close to draw actually. I mean, I haven't checked the game obviously, but
yeah, I mean, it took quite some time, but it was a draw, and it stayed a draw, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, okay, it's difficult. I mean, when your opponent with white pieces plays, I mean, decently or even good, then, I mean, there's nothing you can do, basically, with black. So, yeah, I was quite happy, actually, that he allowed me to play this, because I prepared it specifically for this tournament, but, yeah, but he played, I mean, quite good game, so, and there wasn't any chance for me to try for more.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
The engines like the white position a lot after the opening, but in reality, it's probably not so easy, yeah?
It was probably always between draw and some big advantage, and obviously I was playing for a win, and it was always getting promising. But after all, I didn't really see the clear way how to exchange all the things, and then after all I missed this knight d3 idea when he can still exchange one extra pawn, and this I think was critical because then I simply didn't have enough material to win the game.
In that stage of the game, he used some nice tactics.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, this is what I expected, that this is how he will hold this one. But you can say that this is a story of my play here. That it's that I think that I'm better. I had some games where I should convert my chances, but if you don't score yourself, normally they will score against you. So, yeah, this is how it went.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Aryan, congratulations. You have just beaten Yesipenko. You had a solid tournament so far, but this is your first win. How do you feel tonight?
I feel really, really good. It feels amazing to finally win a game. So far, I feel I missed some chances, so that was a bit disappointing. But today, I think I played well, and Yesipenko is an extremely strong talent, so I'm really happy.
Yeah, it seemed like a nice game where you seemed to be better right out of the opening.
Yeah, I think so. I think Andrei took some risks. He played knight e6, and then after h4, I think the white position is really nice. I think I got some good advantage after that. And then he missed his rook a8 trick when he went into this position with f5. And this rook a8 is a really nice trick. If he takes it, he gets mated, and then the tactics just work out for me.
It must be nice to win the game in style and end on some kind of mating attack, as you say.
Yeah, for sure. That's what chess players dream of.
Now 2 games to go. How do you feel going into the very last stretch of the tournament?
I just hope to play good chess. So far, it's a decent result, so I hope I can continue with that.
Best of luck with it, and
Thank
congratulations
you.
again. You have just drawn your game against Magnus Carlsen as black. Surely that's a result you're happy with?
Yeah, definitely. I think draw with Magnus with black, if everything's fine, then it's a good result. If draw with Magnus with black is not a good result, your life is in danger. Something's really going wrong.
It looked like it was achieved from a position of strength, though.
In the end, maybe, but in the end, yeah, probably. But it was a bit suspect what I did, because I've got this bishop on, outside on the other side on h5, g6, which is a bit stranded. It's well known that it's very dubious to play this way, but on the other hand, I got the rest of the position sort of fixed nicely, so I thought it was okay. But yeah, I was a little bit suspect at one point, and at one point I was about to make a very dubious move as well. Fortunately, I changed my mind in time. Finally, in the game, yeah, he was regretting allowing c4. I at first, I was shocked he did that, and I thought maybe he's very, very deep. But finally, I think he just shouldn't have done it. He, what maybe the best he can do is to trade everything and then get 4 against 4 on one wing and have my bishop stranded on g6. And then, yeah, I was sure I should be able to hold, but maybe he gets to press.
So let's talk about the last 2 games now. Tomorrow you have a huge game against Alireza Firouzja. His position right now is looks like he's doing well against Fabiano, so he might catch you. What are your thoughts going into that game?
Yeah, he's playing great, of course. He has a very good score, but I'm looking forward. As I tell Tom usually when he asks me about my next opponent, I usually say that I'm terrified. So far it worked out fine.
What about your fellow Dutchman, who is also keeping in hot pursuit?
Wow, yeah. It's amazing. The thing is, we had a deal with him today. He asked my permission to do something, which I gave in return for him, saying for the rest of the year how much he owes me and stuff like that. Now the problem is, I don't know, because he didn't get to use the thing he asked permission for. I'm not sure now if he should still, do his other end of the bargain. Maybe you'll see, depending on his interview.
We will ask him about it. Anish, thank you so much, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
A draw with black. There looked to be some interesting moments where you had to spend some time.
Yeah, I was in fact quite optimistic throughout the game. One critical moment was when he played f4, whether I should take on f4 or whether I should keep it with f6, because f6 also leads to some very, very unbalanced positions, and it was a difficult choice. Finally, I took on f4 with idea queen f6 to go to this ending, because you know, better a bird in the hand than pen in the bush. Yeah, because I know that this ending is slightly better for me, but probably it's not that much. But if I don't go for the ending, then I could even be worse, maybe. So I decided to go for a small edge. And then I think one major point was when I allowed him to keep both rooks. I should have traded one of the rooks when I had the opportunity to take on f1 and then play roughly in the same way. And it's much more difficult for him to coordinate with only one rook. But that's, I think, it.
And after, it was just equal?
Yeah, after it was equal. I mean, from afar, I had thought that after I trade this b7 pawn from the d6 pawn, I enter with the rook on d2, I should have some initiative. But I had simply missed that he can just trade the rooks and play rook c1 and everything gets liquidated. So actually I declined the draw like 5 moves earlier, but mainly because I had not seen that that he could force it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Great fight it was. Do you agree?
Yeah, it was a very, very intense game, and after the opening, of course, I was a bit worse and I couldn't make anything work, and I just played something after 15 minutes sing. And I was lucky he just bothered himself with all this knight takes g2, and he spent a lot of time.
And did you as well at that moment?
I don't know, at that point I just kind of didn't care, because
wait and see.
Wait and see, because if he takes, then I was going to start thinking. So, and yeah, and after that, of course, I was completely winning, but yeah, I just...
But still difficult.
Yeah, it was difficult. Maybe I should have kept the knight versus bishop, but still it needed some work, of course. Yeah.
And then in the end, this miracle drawing line for him. Had you seen it coming?
No, I didn't see queen f5. This king e7, rook d7, it was just insane. And I couldn't make anything work, and yeah, it was just miracle.
And you had to accept it in the end, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What a crazy game it was. Let's start from the beginning, maybe. Were you surprised by his piece sacrifice?
Well, this idea, it's quite known, but I think doesn't really work in the position we had. I think usually he has to have a bishop on a7 to make it work. So I knew from this get-go my position was like very good and that it maybe close to winning after the opening. But I mean, there were so many hurdles to overcome, and I was never sure I was gonna win this game. Like after the time control, I think I messed up basically everything.
Tell us about your decision maybe to give back the piece.
Yeah, I think in hindsight that was completely unnecessary. I just thought it's winning by force, and then maybe it's winning by force, but I mean it was way more complicated than I thought it was. And then, I mean, in time trouble, I started making aimless moves, and he started getting out with his queen, and you know, his pieces started working together. And I mean, it was completely crazy. Like I completely let him slip, and then I think he's sort of okay after time control, maybe close to drawing, but he went for a forcing line, and well, if it draws on the spot. But I think I had this queen h5 move, and after that I didn't see a way for him to defend.
And with that win, you are now back just half a point behind Anish Giri. Tomorrow, a big game against Yasipenko.
Yes, 2 more really big games. But for now, let me just clear my head, because this was a really tough game, and tomorrow we'll see what happens. But it's going to be a tough game for sure.
A tough game. One last tough question. I interviewed Anish Giri earlier, who said you asked his permission to use a certain line today. And he told us that you promised something else in return. He said you didn't get to use the line, but he was wondering, will you still uphold your side of the deal?
I'll only uphold it if I would get the chance to play the line, and now I don't. So
the deal
another
is off.
time.
Jordan, thank you so much, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you too.
There were lots of tactical opportunities for you, but somehow you couldn't make them work for black.
Well, I think okay is a bit of an understatement. I mean, I had a very promising position, and also Ali Reza was down, had like 50 minutes less than me, so I was extremely optimistic. And after bishop e3, I spent, I think, at least 50 minutes, maybe more, just calculating knight g2. It's the only move I was thinking about. And king g2, knight h4, king h1, and all sorts of lines involving queen d5 or bishop h3. And I couldn't quite make it work, but I really wanted to play it. Like every part of me wanted to take on g2, but I couldn't really see how to. I mean, I assumed that it's not worse for black or anything, and maybe it's very strong, but I didn't quite see how to follow up, and I thought if I shouldn't sack a piece without actually seeing the follow-up. So I thought for 50 minutes, and I made another move, and of course this was a giant waste of time. Then I think it was pretty complicated, and I blundered before the time control. Queen g6 was terrible. And I was completely lost, I guess.
And this must be terrible, that you feel to slip the game out of your hands like that.
Yeah, of course. I figured I would lose after the time control.
But later, a great defensive achievement from you.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised that I think it was most practical for him to play rook d3 instead of c4, trade off rooks, and I think that white has like either an objectively winning position or just like an 80% chance of winning in a practical game. And c4 I was kind of happy about because at least now we fight. And okay, I was lucky to have queen f5. This was a miracle. After that, I guess it's a draw. But it was still, I mean, there was a lot of stuff to calculate of queen g2, rook d2, g4. But it also sometimes gets dangerous for white, so I understand why Aliris didn't go for that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Hello and welcome to the closing ceremony of the 83rd edition of the Tata Steel Chess Tournament. I'm Mira Bozelaar, I'm the chairwoman of the tournament and your host for this show. What an event this has been, right? Who would have thought at the beginning that we would have not only a Dutch winner, but also a Dutch runner-up, all defined in a nerve-wracking tie-break session. Really fantastic. And I'm standing here at the venue where all the fireworks took place this 2.5 weeks. A venue where normally we welcome a lot of fans and visitors and amateur players, but unfortunately weren't able to do that this year. But the good news for the fans is that we have already defined the dates for next year's edition. So please mark your diaries for January 14th through the 30th for the 84th edition of the Tata Steel Chess Tournament. We're looking forward to it already now and hope to be able to welcome a lot of people, both online and in person here at the Moriaan in our community. You will probably know the most famous Dutch soccer player, Johan Cruyff. One of his most famous sayings is that every disadvantage has an advantage. Well, the disadvantage of not being able to welcome a lot of people here in the Moriaan, in our community, is that we have really enhanced the online experience. And one of the proofs of that is this award show. Normally we hold this in an offline location with a limited number of guests, and today we're able to open this up to all the tournament's fans around the world. So a warm welcome again. And before we go to the actual award ceremony, I'd like to go to a couple of words from the site director of Tata Steel, Hans van den Berg, followed by a couple of words from the mayor of Beverwijk, Martijn Smit.
Dear fans of the Tata Steel Chess Tournament, at the closure of the 83rd Tata Steel Chess Tournament, which has been over the board, but mainly online, of course, a historic event, I would say. I'm standing here as a very proud man, and I'd like to thank you for making this tournament possible. I would like to thank our 14 grandmasters for showing us excellent chess, which has been very entertaining for all our online viewers. I would like to thank the local communities. I would like to thank the sponsors and, of course, our local team who have made this excellent event possible. We're looking forward to the 84th tournament here in Wijk aan Zee again, in the local community where we belong and where we will organize the next tournament in January 2022. Thank you very much. Until next year.
Well, Tata Steel Chess Tournament 2021, it came to an end today. I want to thank the organization, and I also would like to thank, of course, the masters who came to Wijk aan Zee in this difficult period. It was a great success. Chess Festival also was a great success, the online festival. Next year we go back to normal, but this year it was a special year, very special. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hans and Martijn, for those nice words. And indeed, we received some very heartwarming responses from members of our community in the shape of cards and notes where they said how much they appreciated the fact that the tournament and that all of you Grandmasters were here and taking part of it. So thank you. So now over to the first award. Jeroen van den Berg, our tournament director, has joined me here on stage to announce the first award. It's the Gashimov Award. Over first to the video.
Lovely Tata Steel chess family, dear participants, sponsors, organizing team, media friends, and everyone who made this year's tournament happen, let me use this opportunity to thank you, as you are all the role models for the global chess community. Even if COVID-19 was not able to stop Tata Steel chess, I wish there will be no reason in the world to be able to do so. Now, let me announce the winner of the traditional Vugar Gashimov Fair Play Award of Tata Steel Chess 2021. Despite of receiving the very last moment notification, this gentleman has accepted the invitation and was showing a real fair play spirit. This is Grandmaster from Sweden, Nils Grandelius. Congratulations.
Jeroen, can you tell us a little bit more about this Gashimov Award and why Niels won it? Because I think that's important as well.
Yes, the award is named after Vugar Gashimov, who died in 2014 in January during our tournament at the far too young age of 27 only. And then there was a tournament in Shamkir called after his name, the Gashimov Memorial. His brother and I, you saw his brother, Sarkan, we already soon got the idea of this prize to name after Vugar, and it is for fighting spirit in the games, being soft and gentle to the organizers, being very cooperative with the press, being very gentle to your colleagues, to the arbiters, to the sponsors, to everybody. So Niels did this, but I have to say there were more candidates this year, because first of all, I think you all did a great job by coming here in these difficult times. But Niels had also this, and it was already mentioned by Sarkan, this extra that he came in the tournament at a very late stage. So that's the reason why the jury believed that Niels was the deserved winner in 2021.
Thank you, Jeroen. And now, Niels, please join us on stage. Jeroen.
And you will get another prize from Mr. Gashimov.
Niels, this is the surrogate prize. You will get the real prize that will be sent to you.
Thank you.
But first of all, what is your reaction to getting this prestigious award?
It was, of course, a great honor. Thank you very much. I'm not sure exactly if I'm so happy to be very nice and friendly to my colleagues. I was hoping to be a bit more rough to them. And also, of course, getting the invitation so late was not really in my hands, but it was never a question of declining, of course. It was just a great pleasure to be here, and I do agree that I did play some interesting chess, but that is also, of course, greatly by the help of my opponents as well, who invited to great fighting games, and well, thank you very much.
What was the best trick that you used by having such little time to prepare and still being able to play as well as you did?
Well, there is one trick that I used that I might not do again if I get the opportunity. That was reading a certain Chessable course by another participant in the tournament. Not sure if it was my best trick, not sure if I will do it again, but it's the one that stands out for sure.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Nils Grandelius, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
And now over to the 3 awards that we give from the Tata Steel Chess Tournament. The third prize goes to Andrei Yesipenko. Please join me here on stage. Andrei. Hi. You are quite something, right? Because you're already a legend here on the tournament. You know why?
Why?
You don't know why?
No.
Maybe we should ask somebody in the room why? Well, you made a fantastic win, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about that? How that felt?
Yeah, I was very happy to win this game. I think it wasn't Magnus Day, and my probably the best day in my life. So I just tried to play well, tried to show some interesting ideas maybe, and this happened. Yeah, I won. Yeah.
It certainly happened, and here you are, third place winner of the Tata Steel Chess Tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrei Yasipenko. Now it's becoming a little bit of a Dutch party. I dare to say, I'd like to invite the runner-up, Anish Giri, to come here on stage and accept the second prize. Hi Anish.
Hello.
Also ambassador of our tournament. What a nerve-wracking tiebreak that was, and not your first one at this tournament. What went through your mind when you
find out that Magnus is leading by 1.5 points? There's last game to play, everything as usual. But no.
No. So how did you like it, or not?
Not. No, but it was great. Definitely a great day for Dutch chess. I think especially the images, of me losing in the last seconds, very visual. Should maybe popularize our game a little bit more, get a bit more attention. And as for Jordan's victory, I think it's incredible. And to quote my favorite singer, Eminem, who said once that I had to give you a career to destroy it. I think this is what I'd like to tell Jordan.
Very good. Anish Giri, very graceful. Here's your prize, Anish. Take your prize. There it is to prove it. And of course, for the first time since 1985, a Dutch winner again of the Tata Steel Chess Tournament. May I invite here Jordan van Foreest. So Jordan, when you started this edition, was this at all one of the scenarios? I know we chess players like to think ahead and think of all kinds of scenarios. Was this one that was somewhere in your mind, in your fantasy?
I don't know, but for those who are looking at my Twitter, I did announce it was time I was gonna win here, but of course, in all honesty, I didn't expect this would happen at all. So maybe my tricks were that, first of all, I did look at the chessable courses, and secondly, and I improved upon them instead of just reading them. And also, I played a lot of blitz with my second Max, so maybe this helped in the final tiebreak. Although I got my ass kicked there, so I don't know what happened in this tiebreak.
So what would you like to say to the Dutch audience now that you are a first prize winner?
Well, I would first like to congratulate the team here of Tata Steel Chess for, putting together this event. It's really wonderfully organized. I think they did a great job. I think all the players are really satisfied with how it went, and I think everyone is really happy to play some classical chess. So first of all, big thanks to them. To the Dutch chess fans, I just hope that they enjoyed the games, and just hope many more people start playing chess, and that should be good. And then, if more Dutch people start playing chess, we might have more Dutch winners in the Tata Steel Chess Tournament.
Well, at least your family is contributing to that, to
Yeah,
having more Dutch
job.
players.
They're doing a good job.
They're doing an excellent job. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan van Foreest, winner of the 83rd edition of Tata Steel Chess Tournament.
Thank you.